There's a sort of misconception when it comes to Fairfax County because we do have a reputation for being one of the wealthiest counties in the country. It's kind of difficult to know which schools are needy, but it exists. This quote is from an article written by Debbie Trong titled, "It's Tragic, Students Go Hungry in Northern Virginia," featured in the Washington Post on May 3, 2018, and is referring to the number of children who are hungry in Northern Virginia. If you have resided in Northern Virginia, these may be children you or your children go to or have gone to school with, maybe friends or family, or even if you don't know someone personally who has suffered from hunger, these are children in our college's neighborhood. As a teacher myself, I have seen the negative effects that food insecurity or hunger can have on a child's social, emotional, and physical well-being, something that no child should have to endure. Although pinpointing the cause of food insecurity in Northern Virginia is difficult, and finding a solution to fix the problem is even harder, we can and should do what we can to help lessen the number of children who are hungry by supporting a local organization called Food for Neighbors. Today, I will first inform you of the statistics surrounding food insecurity in Northern Virginia and the effects it has on children. I will walk through some of the causes of childhood hunger, and lastly, I will address why it is vital that we support organizations that help these children, specifically one called Food for Neighbors. Before jumping into the causes of childhood hunger, it is imperative that we first look at how many children suffer from hunger in Northern Virginia and what this means for the child. Statistics show us that hunger in Northern Virginia is a significant problem, and hunger can have negative effects on a child's ability to thrive in school. According to foodforneighbors.org, 1 in 4 children struggle with hunger in Fairfax County, one of the wealthiest counties in the U.S., and in Herndon specifically, 1 in 3 children struggle with hunger. In America, 1 in 5 children suffer with hunger. I would like you to stop and pause for a second to reflect on what these numbers mean. 1 in 4 children in Fairfax County. In other words, 25% of children are hungry. In a class of 24 children, 6 of them may not know where their next meal comes from. For these children, life in school becomes harder. According to an article written by Janice Key and Elizabeth Lee Ford Jones titled "Food Insecurity and Hunger, a Review of the Effects on Children's Health and Behavior," published in Pediatrics and Child Health in March 2015, states, longitudinal studies in Canada indicate that hunger is related to poor health outcomes, including a higher risk of depression and suicidal ideation in adolescents, in chronic conditions, particularly asthma. In addition, nutrient deficiencies such as iron deficiency are known to impair learning and cause decreased productivity in school-aged children and maternal depressive disorders. Although this study was conducted in Canada, the results can be applied to children in the United States as well. This article states the following as issues related to hunger: reduced learning and productivity, effects on mental health, example depression, chronic diseases such as asthma, issues with obesity. It is important to note that this article does state that there are limitations to existing studies, but that does not make the findings invalid. We simply need to conduct more research. Now that we understand the problem of hunger in Northern Virginia, it is important to look at the cause. As I stated before, the cause of hunger can be hard to pinpoint, but it is something that should not be ignored. National Public Radio conducted an interview with a woman named Amy Glashmere, who was a professor of economics geography at Penn State University, and this interview was written by Vicki Valentine and published on November 22, 2015. And in this interview, Glashmere discusses 2 main issues for hunger and food insecurity: uncertainties of daily life and problems of access and distribution. Glashmere explains that if a family who is living paycheck to paycheck has to fix a car issue or make a visit to the emergency room, they will not be able to afford food for the week, month, or even longer. What Glashmere means by access and distribution is that healthy foods tend to be far too expensive for people making low wages, and therefore, although the children may be eating food, they will be food insecure, meaning they are not getting the nutrients they need to thrive. This is especially true in an area like Northern Virginia, where rent and other living expenses can be very high. Now that we understand that hunger and food insecurity is a real problem in Northern Virginia, I would like to discuss how we can help the problem. As I stated before, finding a solution to hunger in Virginia is hard, but supporting a local organization called Food for Neighbors is simple and helps feed these children in need. According to the book titled World Hunger Series 2007, Hunger and Health, written in 2007 by United Nations Food Program, intervening when they are adolescents could change their adult life for the better. The book states, adolescence is a crucial intervention point from a hunger and health perspective, a period during which significant progress can be made in improving maternal and child's health and in setting the stage for a healthy adult life. Food for Neighbors' mission, stated on their website, is to end child hunger in the Northern Virginia area by raising awareness and community involvement. Through awareness comes a desire to help because no one believes a child should struggle with hunger. Food for Neighbors specifically helps middle and high school students because previously elementary schools were the focus because there were just too many middle and high schoolers in need. Because of Food for Neighbors, 900 children receive weekly food help at 14 middle and high schools in the area. But how can you help Food for Neighbors? It's easy. Through their Red Bag program. All you do is request a red bag and it will be dropped to your front door. You don't even have to leave the house. You go to the grocery store and purchase the items that are listed on the bag. The red bag is picked up from your front door. Or if donating is what you prefer, you can make a monetary donation as well. $100 will feed 25 children for one weekend. Or if you would rather donate your time, Food for Neighbors is in need of volunteers too. In conclusion, you or I may not be able to fix the problem, but by supporting Food for Neighbors, we can do our part to help our children in need. Although pinpointing the cause of food insecurity in Northern Virginia is difficult, and finding a solution to fix it is even harder, we can and should help to lessen the number of children who are hungry by supporting the local organization called Food for Neighbors. 1 in 4 children in Northern Virginia are hungry, and thus most likely experiencing the negative effects on their physical and mental well-being. But by supporting an organization such as Food for Neighbors, we can help these children thrive. According to Food for Neighbors, since the first Red Bag collection in 2016, Food for Neighbors has collected over 55,000 pounds of food for local students. We started supporting 2 local Herndon schools and have grown to support 13 schools in Fairfax and Loudoun counties. The impact they are making is undeniable. So let's get out there and do our part to help. Thank you.